Is this the year we get to play Call of Duty via the cloud? It may very well be, and it's the best chance we've ever had thus far. So let's break down exactly why that is. Look, let me keep it real with you. Ever since cloud gaming has been a thing, I've always had the dream of being able to play Call of Duty via the cloud. Like many people out there, COD represents my go-to title when I'm bored, my comfort game, or just something to play when there's nothing else that really interests me. And I know for a fact that I'm not alone in that, considering the series typically is the top seller each and every single year. And yet sadly, we've never really gotten to experience Call of Duty via the cloud, at least not through any of the major players in the game. Be it PS Plus, Xbox Cloud Gaming, Amazon Luna, GeForce Now, or the late Google Stadia, COD never really made its way over. But I have little to no doubt that that's about to change, and that's part and thanks to the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. A 2-year process that has been full of twists and turns but has finally come to a close. Because of that purchase, COD On Cloud is now looking more like a matter of time rather than a question of if it'll arrive. But what do we know of its current situation, the here and now? How soon can we expect it to actually arrive and be playable? When it comes to Xbox and Xbox Cloud Gaming, I hate to say it, but probably not till next year once it gets added on Game Pass. And we know this for a fact because it has been reiterated by the higher ups at Xbox that Activision Blizzard titles will arrive to Game Pass in 2024. CEO of Microsoft Gaming Phil Spencer even added the following comment. I would love it if there was some kind of secret celebration drop that's coming in the next couple of weeks. There's not. To me, this paints the picture pretty clear. We shouldn't be expecting Call of Duty to arrive on xCloud until Call of Duty arrives on Game Pass, since Xbox Cloud Gaming's library is entirely dependent on Xbox Game Pass. But what of the other big players in the cloud gaming space? The GeForce Nows, the Amazon Lunas, PlayStation Plus, and more. If you ask me, there's a chance. For some, more than others, of course. But I have to say, I'm cautiously optimistic on the whole situation. While some would argue that Microsoft would rather wait to launch Call of Duty themselves in the cloud first, I would actually point out that Microsoft has seemed to make it very clear. At the end of the day, they just want people playing their games no matter how you access them, and in the case of Call of Duty, they want that game in as many hands as possible. Some may very well bring up the fact that Starfield only launched day one on Xbox Cloud Gaming while others had to wait a few weeks, but there could be a variety of reasons for that delay. Not to mention, Forza also managed to launch day one on GeForce Now. But my main counter argument to that would be that Call of Duty is a multi-platform title, and Microsoft has made it very clear that they plan on keeping it that way. Phil Spencer himself has even said that they're interested in bringing the series to other platforms that it's not normally launched on, such as Nintendo's upcoming handheld and successor to the Switch. But unlike a Switch, when it comes to cloud gaming, the process is much easier for making a game accessible. In fact, what seems to be the only thing that stood in the way prior to this was Activision saying no to the whole idea. But one thing we learned during the whole court case for the acquisition of Activision Blizzard is that many parties were interested in seeing Call of Duty arrive to their service, which shouldn't be a surprise whatsoever considering what a colossal franchise it is. But what I think is the true wildcard in this situation, and what has more pull than people expect, are the cloud gaming rights to Activision Blizzard titles, which are currently held by Ubisoft. If you weren't aware of this, well, now you are, and let me explain exactly why. During the whole court battle for getting approval of the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, Microsoft had to appease the CMA. That's the Competition and Markets Authority in the UK. They were one of the big holdouts, really against the deal for cloud gaming reasons. They feared that Microsoft would have too much power and pull in the space if they just owned everything. So to get approval, they decided to give the cloud streaming rights to all Activision Blizzard titles over the next 15 years to Ubisoft. This is a very key concession and a pretty big deal, one that made the deal go through. But what exactly does that mean? Well, to put it into simple terms, Ubisoft now controls where Call of Duty and other Activision Blizzard games show up on cloud gaming services, with the exception of EU countries and the various cloud gaming deals Microsoft signed previously. So long story short, it seems like Ubisoft gets the final say on what services get cloud streaming rights for what Activision Blizzard games. Could this potentially lead to a future where Call of Duty is only available via PS Plus? Yes, potentially, but more than likely not. Let's keep it real here, Ubisoft would be under a lot of fire and flack for doing such a decision, not to mention Microsoft knows what they're doing here. Ubisoft by far and by a long shot is the biggest publisher that supports cloud gaming the most. They were the first studio that Google worked with for Stadia, the first company that Amazon worked with for Luna, and they've been partners with Nvidia GeForce Now for years, bringing their games day one to the service. Microsoft is fully aware that they're well known within the space and understand the value of what streaming brings to the table for everyone. And this to me is exactly why we have a high chance of seeing Call of Duty arrive to cloud gaming services this year. Ubisoft only has to gain from licensing out the cloud gaming rights to these games. Microsoft would look good from doing so, and everybody gets in a win-win scenario being able to play the games they want to play however they want to play them. Could I be wrong about all this? Sure, we might have to wait till next year until it gets into Game Pass for every other cloud gaming service to get the go-ahead. I doubt that would be the case, but even if it is, at the very least, we know that Call of Duty is on the way. Diablo 4 is on the way. Overwatch is on the way. In fact, there's a whole lot more potentially on the way, and it couldn't be looking better for us cloud gamers. Now, before wrapping things up, I do want to bring up the topic about Call of Duty being playable on the cloud in the past. Yes, I know you can play it through Boosteroid, yes, I know you can play it through Shadow and other means, but when I'm talking about official support for Call of Duty on the cloud, I mean official support, not the workaround that makes it more of a remote desktop situation or a beta test like it was on GeForce Now initially. I mean full official support and the go-ahead from the company that makes it. Just wanted to make that clear. Now, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out. And if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming related. And until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.